Okay, we're gonna go into player ratings now, and we're gonna speak about Vicario first. Vicario, for me, he made the biggest blunder. Um, I've given him a 4, man. I can't lie. And that's me being generous. That goal shouldn't be allowed as a goalkeeper. I don't care how long confidence you are. That really cost us. And imagine if he didn't concede that free kick, who knows? We could be leaving with 3 points potentially. Um, the reason why I'm not giving him lower than a 4 is because he did have the assist before the assist, the key pass, and that led to the goal. He passed it into Moani, he went long, and he found him. And he did it a few times in that second half as well. So I'll give him a bit of grace because he's not really good with his feet. The first half obviously was not as good. Passing out from the back wasn't his greatest, but we know he's not good with his feet. So I'm not going to be mad at that. Let's move on to Spence. I think with Spence, I didn't have too much complaints with Spence, if I'm being totally honest. Didn't do enough in the game for me to kind of warrant anything standoutish. I'm just going to go for a 5 with him, if I'm being totally honest. Defensively, I thought he was good. Didn't let too much through. And again, stuck to the game plan alongside maybe what Tudor was asking. Away from home, this is the type of performance you kind of need. So I'm not going to be too harsh on Jed Spence. Pedro Porro, I'll give him a similar score because I felt at times he was being tested down that side. Him and Souza were struggling at times down that left flank. And yeah, Porro, obviously, he's been utilized as a centre back in the past. We tried to use those long balls into the front line. But I just felt today, again, a bit similar to what Spence was doing. He's got 2 centre backs alongside him in the right position. And I think when you've got 2 centre backs in the right position, not overcomplicating the game, it helps you to just focus on what you need to. So yeah, I'm going to give him a similar score to Spence, another 5 there. He did some good, some bad, but yeah, we move. Matty Estel, man, not one of his greater games, in my opinion. I think he does what he normally does. He gets on the ball. He's kind of touch heavy. I call him a touch heavy player, where he likes to feel a lot of the ball. And sometimes that can cost the team because if you don't release it early enough, it can break down moves. And so, yeah, he was one of those players there I felt didn't really impact the game too much. However, to a caveat my own point, he is good at crossing the ball. I think he needs to get in those positions a lot more where he gets to the byline and he finds those crosses in to find Richarlison. And he did it. He did it 1 or 2 times in this game. So that's one thing I will say. Out of all of our left-sided players, I think he's one of our better crossers. And so yeah, that's my thoughts on Matthias Tell. Souza for me, he's playing out of position. Number one, he's playing out of position. And he's on the right hand side, so he's asked to shoot to cut onto his left foot, and we did see that within the first half. The first half, he gets the ball onto his stronger foot, he gets out of his feet, and then he just smashes it. He just smashes it, gets good connection, puts his foot right through it. Keeper makes a good save. Allison pushes it over the bar, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe I was wrong about Souza playing on the right. But as the game went on, again, I felt like he was a bit out of sorts. Naturally, you want your right-sided player to go on the outside a bit more. But again, it's not his natural position. And maybe Tudor saw something in training, and that's the reason why you put him in midfield. Who knows? Just a quick one on Gray. Gray, I think I'll give him a 6. Again, I said he's kind of like an unsung hero, similar to Sarr. They're just doing their job, literally filling in where they need to fill in positionally. In that case, I think he knew where to be on the pitch. It was a mature performance on him. And again, just adding that solid base in front of the two centre backs to give them extra protection and help the team in what we needed to do. Um, yeah, nothing really spectacular again, and nothing stand out. He did cover a lot of the grounds, in my opinion. Um, his passing accuracy, from what I remember, was pretty spot on. He had quite a few like medium to long passes that he was utilizing. Uh, but yeah, again, just those passes in the final third, nothing outstanding, just decent. You know, there was a few crosses that he did attempt, didn't quite get to where the destination. But again, I'm not mad at him because it was more about defensive performances for me in this particular game. Um, so yeah, I'm going to give him a 6. Similar with Pat Matasar, I give Pat Matasar a 6 as well. He covered a lot of ground, and there's a stat floating around about how we ran a lot more. We outran Liverpool, and I think that could be one of our first games. I think where we've outrun our opponent. When Tudor did come, they were talking about our running stats being like 19th or 20th in the league. So it'll be interesting to see if that's gone up a little bit since they've come in. And I think as well, Pape Sarr's dribbling slightly better in this game as a better standout attribute. Not all of his passes came off, which is it's going to happen when you're trying to attempt long passes or switches or hit diagonals into the box. But generally, yeah, forward passing, not bad. Yeah, just sort of just Sarr doing what Sarr does well, and defending as well. He did defend well, but again, passing's never been his greatest attribute. So I'm not going to go too heavy that, oh no, he should have done a lot better with his passing. It's never been a standout for Pat Matasar. But again, as I said, covering the ground, that's his job. He did it very well. Solanki, I thought he was poor, man. He wasn't poor, but I didn't really see him in the game. There wasn't really anything standoutish about him. And maybe that's why I'm marking him a bit harsh. But yeah, not really much to say on Solanke. Did try to drop into midfield as per usual, and tried to connect the dots. I think he was the one playing like as the second striker, if that makes sense. Um, and maybe that's an instruction as well from Tudor. Maybe Tudor's asking him to do that, and that's the reason why we're seeing that type of performance. But I do think Richarlison is better in that position. So yeah, I'm gonna keep that score low for Solanke as well. I'm gonna give him a 5. Richarlison, I'll give him a 7. Tempted to give him an 8. I just think he was a threat. Even before he stepped on the pitch, he was a threat. We know how he's performed in games prior, where he takes his top off and he's shown all of his tats, and it's come to backfire. But this time he was sensible. He kept his top on, tried to get that ball back, and we tried to start as soon as possible and go for the win. But yeah, he got the all-important goal. But before that, he had a few chances. As I said before, he had a few headers. One was forced a save from Allison. One was just wide from a corner. And there was another one where the keeper, Allison, again saved it when he had a shot. And it was a big talking point, which I didn't talk about in the post-match review, which was very important. And it was a challenge that Van Dijk made. And uh, last week, Cunha, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Cunha got sent off. I mean, Cunha got a penalty for a foul that was made outside of the box, in my opinion. And Lacroix was sent off with a red card. Van Dijk does exactly the same thing, but nothing happens. VAR looked at it, no issues. So, well, you could say conspiracy. You don't have to agree. I think it is. We should have had something out of that, man. And there's no smoke without fire. Spurs haven't been awarded a single penalty all season. Yeah, take with that with what you will. But yeah, I'm just saying, innit? Yeah, Richarlison was brought down. Could have had something a bit more, but overall, generally, he's a fighter. You can see it. You know, he's here for the cause. He wants to get something out of this game. Um, Whether it's going to be his last few games for us, who knows? But regardless, he's fighting for the badge right now. He's doing everything he can to keep the club up. I'm going to give him a solid 7. Um, And if people want to give him higher, I wouldn't be mad. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to move on to the substitutions, guys. Substitutions wise, I'm going to look at Xavi Simons. He came on, did his thing, tried to make his mark. But again, I'm not going to score him too highly. He did test the keeper, as I said before. Got on the ball, dribbled. He's another player for me. He's a bit touch heavy. In this game, I'm not going to critique him on that. But he's a player that I think if he releases it a bit quicker and he can make better decisions if he gets his head up a bit earlier, in my opinion. But yeah, I'll give him a 6. Rano Kalomwani, I'll give him. Well, he got the assist, right? So I'm still going to give him a 6. He did come on 75 minutes. Before even the assist, he was trying to make a difference. He was getting on the ball. But yeah, I still give him. I'm still going to give him a 6, even though he got the assist. Let's move on to Olusesi. Olusesi, his debut came on brilliant. But yeah, not much I could say about that for limited time. He had 40 minutes with that. But yeah, he came on, did a few passes, and that's all you can do, man. Just keep that defensive shape. No mistakes. Just didn't put a foot wrong, in my opinion. Every pass he made, it kind of got to a player generally. And yeah, I'll just give him a 6. I mean, I know it's his debut. You could give him a 10 out of 10 for just making a debut, but nothing where he kind of affected the game, in my opinion. And the same with Rosewell. He came on the 90th minute, so can't really judge that. But yeah, debut is as it is. He didn't. As long as you don't make a mistake, I'm happy. And even if you didn't make a mistake, I wouldn't like tear you down for it because you're a young player. 6 as well, in my opinion. Manager Igor Tudor, with a depleted squad, may I add, 13 outfield players missing, whether it through illness or injury, didn't matter. Set the team up properly, got the point, and it was against the run of play in terms of form where we got this particular result. So we can't knock him. When Richarlison scored, he jumped up in the air and he punched because he's been under a huge amount of pressure. And him and his staff, his team, his coaching staff, they need all the flowers that they need to get for this particular game in isolation. I know the job's not done. The pressure is still going to be on him. But listen, does he still need to go? Yes. However, I'll give him a 6. People are like, no, you can only judge it on this game. All right, cool. I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7 for this game. He forced my hands. 1-1. No one was expecting that. We were expecting 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-2, something of that type of ilk. But yeah, he made the right substitutions ultimately at the right time, and he got the best out of those players. And it'll be interesting to see what he does moving forward with Mickey Van de Ven, who apparently is running around. This is a rumor, by the way, running around saying he doesn't care. He's gonna get his move anyway to Barcelona. His dad's the agent, blah blah blah. I don't know how true it is, so take that with a pinch of salt. But that is the rumor that's flying around at the moment. Romero, of course, we know is being linked away. Big World Cup year coming from him. But if those guys are generally the problem, should they be dropped? If they don't want to play and are not going to show fight and heart, then maybe does he need to stick with at least one of those players? Maybe not Dragushin. Maybe Dragushin is the one to be sacrificed. But that's not for me. It's down to the manager. It's a brave call. What does he do? And where does he play Souza? Does he let Souza stay in that right-hand side? I guess not. I'm assuming not. But does he play him at left back? And Jed Spence could have easily played there because he's right-footed. It was a peculiar one, but let's see what happens from there. Yes, people. So that was my player ratings. Please make sure you guys do hit the like and subscribe button for the lovely boys Ben and Sim on We Are Tottenham TV. It's that little thumb sign, man. Just hit it. Sometimes it's white on your screen. If it's on your phone, it's black. I don't know. Could be the same color as my knuckles. But yeah, make sure you hit that like button. You can also catch me on Spurs Kings TV. I'm available every Monday, 10 p.m., late night settings. If you can't watch it, it's always available on the playback, also on Spotify as well. But guys, thanks for enduring me for that post-match review and player ratings. I'll see you on the other side. Peace.